everyone, welcome back. Alright, now you remember that HTML and CSS files that we've made? I do want to make one point, and I really want to drive this in. The HTML and CSS files that we've made, make sure they are in the same place. For instance, if you made them in desktop, make sure they are in desktop. And I made mine in documents, so both of my files are going to be in documents. This is important whenever you pull them into or push them or drop them into Visual Studio. So let's go ahead and grab these two files. And we're going to go to Visual Studio. We didn't have to create a project or anything. We're just going to select the two files that we made, and we're going to drop it into Visual Studio. And if we'll wait a little bit, magic happens. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up our HTML file to see what we have. Looks like we don't have anything. That's really boring. That's a really boring website. So let's drag that over there. Pull this down so we can see our updates that we make to it. So let's go ahead and type something and see what happens. Oops. Okay, now we're going to Control S, which means save, or you can just click this double floppy disk. Go over to your HTML, click inside of it so you are in that window, and you're going to Control R, which means refresh, and looky there, we have our little, what we put in our HTML file has been uploaded to our HTML website, which is super cool. So that's the beginning of what we're going to do. We're going to be adding some stuff into this HTML, and we're going to save it, and then we're going to refresh it into our HTML file, and it's going to upload on the screen so we can see what's happening and the cool things that's happening that the code is doing. Let's go ahead and delete that. I noticed that when we deleted in our HTML, it didn't delete in this. That's simply because I haven't saved this yet, and I haven't refreshed this page yet. So if I click in here, and I click save, and then I click refresh, it's gone. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our first and foremost doc type HTML. And then let's go ahead and make our elements. Our first element is the root element, which is going to be our HTML. We're going to assign the language for this as English. EN stands for English, or is short for English. We're going to close that, and looky there, the code HTML is so awesome in the way that it it's already thinking ahead of what you're going to need. So it knows that we're going to need this closing, that closing part right there. So whenever you're in HTML, it's pretty different from C# or Java in the way that you're dealing with these things. And once you open something like this means open. And once you have an open, you're gonna need a close, which is that. That means close. Let's go ahead and delete that because that's nonsense. Alright, now we're going to go inside our root element, and we're going to make a head element and a body element. Let's go ahead and do that. Ooh, looky there, it generated it for us. Thank you. Okay. Let's go ahead and create some space to make this a little clearer. Alright, now let's go ahead and type some mumbo jumbo within our body. Let's go ahead and put Hello world. This is Enigma. Let's go down a little bit more and let's say something about Enigma. Enigma enjoys YouTube and, oh, I can't use that, and Twitch. All right, now let's go over headings. So our headings are going to be an H, and then it's going to either be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. 1 being the highest, 6 being the lowest. This means 1 being the biggest lettering it allows, and 6 stands for the smallest lettering it allows. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. We're going to go up here in our body, and right before this hello, we're going to open that, and we're going to say H1 because I want this to be our biggest header, the first thing I see whenever I open my HTML. And let's say I want this to be H3. And let's go ahead and put this as H6. Alright, now don't forget to Control S for save. Click inside your HTML window, Control R, and looky there, we have Hello World as our biggest header. We have this is Enigma with a happy face that is in the middle of what the sizes you can do with your fonts. And you have the smallest you can do. And that concludes this lesson over the elements, root, and what you should put whenever you first make your HTML. You need to be putting the language, you need to be specifying the head, the body, and then the root element, which is HTML head and body. And then we also went over headings, which is the size of your font that you're going to be displaying. Thank you for watching.